Hey everyone, talking about Electric Cherry by Tom Ford. This just came out in 2023. The notes in it are Morello cherry, ginger, jasmine sambac, Ambrettolide musk, and pink pepper. So in terms of the smell itself, not a love for me, but I don't think it's bad at all. It just doesn't smell as explicitly sort of fancy or niche leaning type of scent profile as most Tom Ford fragrances. But at the same time, I'm not a big fan of most Tom Ford fragrances, so that's not a total negative to me. It is definitely like that kind of Morello style cherry, so it's pretty sweet. It's not, one of those like sour cherry, black cherry type of scents. And I feel like there is in the opening a little bit of like a cherry candy vibe in a slightly medicinal way, but much less so than the typical cherry note usage. And it does smooth out quite a bit as it progresses, and pretty quickly, like I would say within 10 minutes. The ginger and pink pepper add this kind of simmering warmth underneath the rest of it, just kind of like under the surface, just holding everything else up. Like it's not super spicy, but there is that like kick there. And the jasmine is sweet and fresh, doesn't get too indolic, which I appreciate. The ambrette adds this like sultry, musky quality. Yeah, especially by the dry down. I do feel though that it is very, very overpriced. And I know there's a lot of people who say that just about any fragrance that's expensive. Like, and this is almost $400 for 100 ml, which obviously any way you swing it, that's expensive. But I don't say that automatically because I'm comparing it to like other things in that range. Like, not that Tom Ford is niche, they're a designer, but their fragrances are a little bit more like niche ones than say, something by Versace or whatever. And yeah, to me, this doesn't smell like it should be more than maybe 35% of the price it's sold at, tops. And I wouldn't even be shocked to smell this in, under $100 type of range. Again, not saying that means it smells bad because it doesn't at all to me. So maybe if this is like your favorite type of notes combination, like slightly floral, slightly warm, not like really actively spicy, but just that kind of warmth that spice brings with like a sweet cherry and musky vibe. And the musk here isn't the like fresh, clean laundry kind, but it's also not super animalic. It's just that like skin scent kind, basically. And yeah, but I do think that you could get something like this for drastically cheaper. And I would say in terms of who would like this unisex leaning feminine, to my nose, moderate longevity, and then projections on the lower end, which is a little surprising because at least for the opening and part of the mid, the scent profile itself smells really like thick and strong up close. But yeah, $240 for a 30 ml or $390 for a 50 ml. And yeah, to me that's very overpriced. It's expensive to even sample this. I think the cheapest place you can get it right now is like, I think someplace was selling like a 1/4 milliliter, which is one of these filled up a quarter of the way. And and even that was like $6 or something like that, I think. But yeah, wouldn't mind smelling it on someone else. Think it's perfectly fine. I don't think it's worth going out of the way to try. But if cherry is like your all-time favorite note in fragrance, maybe try it. And in terms of how this compares to Cherry Smoke, for example, which is another new one from Tom Ford 2023. Yeah, Cherry Smoke, they're very, very different. If I had to say which one's more similar to Lost Cherry, it would be Electric Cherry, but they're really not similar either. Electric Cherry is more similar to Burning Love Fest or Cherry Love Fest by Kayali. And yeah, Cherry Smoke's totally different. And I'm going to do a separate review on that that'll be posted either the same day that this goes live or within 24 hours of it. But Cherry Smoke is much more like leathery. It's actually not that smoky. It's much more masculine leaning, and it has a lot more longevity and projection and just like dense, like almost tobacco type of cherry. So they're really not similar at all. And I think that different types of people would like each one. But yeah, basically, in a nutshell, again, it's definitely one of my longer reviews, semi-quick fragrance reviews. It is like a sweet, fresh cherry. The cherry goes away a bit more by the dry down. And then it's like kind of warm and nice. And I think it's something that would be pretty mass appealing, but it's not like that creative or unique. It's definitely not like electric. I think that maybe comes from the pink pepper and ginger, but it's not that wild or whatever, and just ultimately very, very overpriced. Whereas with Cherry Smoke, to me, I can see how that one would be costing that price a bit more. It smells a lot more expensive. So yeah, I don't recommend going out of the way to rush to get it, but I'll link in the description where you can get a bottle or a sample if you do want to check it out.